Okay, so just starting off from where I finished the last video, those are your first steps that you need to do to ensure that you're successful with your with your outcome. Okay, so planning for success. These are some steps that you need to start to do to make sure that your outcome is successful, okay? So firstly, I want you to plan carefully before producing your outcome. Do not try and write your draft without doing some planning behind it. I'm going to be asking you to submit parts of your draft so that I can see that you're on track and so that we don't get to the end of it and then I say, no, that's wrong, okay? So I'll be looking for your first part of your outcome in 1 week's time, next Monday, in fact, okay? So I need to see you planning what that first part is going to look like and then constructing it, not just sitting there and trying to pull the words out of your brain because it makes it really hard. It's like pulling teeth. So please spend the time doing your planning before you write your outcome. I need you to be frugal with words, okay? Ensure that every word counts. We don't want you saying random stuff just to fill the gaps, and we don't want it to be really difficult for the reader or your viewer to actually work through what it is that you're trying to say. But if there is a way of structuring what you're saying with fewer words, then we need to do that. Every single sentence should be carefully created, not just written down as it sort of comes out of your head, okay? So if you can say something in 12 words rather than 17, then that is going to be a more concise way of saying it, and that is one of the skills we worked on with your proposal and something we need to be very aware of as you're creating your outcome also. Before you submit any draft to me, I need you to read every sentence aloud before submitting it, okay? I don't want to spend my time giving you feedback like, oh, you've got 17 spelling errors in here. That is not helpful to you, okay? Whereas telling you that you've really made a great point here, but you could strengthen it by adding in this, is going to be the thing that is going to help you get from that level of grade up to the next level of grade. So I don't want to spend time saying that sentence isn't structured well, that there's a spelling error there. So please, can you take the time, put in the effort to see to those little details before submitting it to me so that the feedback that I give you can be really good, quality, helpful feedback to help you achieve the best grade that you're capable of. Have someone else who is capable read your outcome draft as well, even if it's just a section, okay? Make sure that they're honest. Make sure that they're constructive. We don't want someone reading, your best friend reading it and saying, oh, that's awesome and brilliant and I love it. We need someone who's going to be giving you honest feedback. Okay, you might speak to a parent, you might speak to a neighbour or a grandma, someone who's going to really take an interest in what it is that you're writing, watch it grow and give you some really constructive feedback as you go along. Ask some questions like, is my work reaching the target audience? Am I using the right language to cater to them? Have I hooked them into this? Are they going to want to keep on reading? Is my information being presented in a logical order? Is how I'm presenting this making sense to the reader, or am I jumping from one thing to the next without sort of any explanation of that? Is each point being substantiated? Make sure you're putting in your referencing as you go along. It is so hard to come back after the fact when you've got 1,500 or 2,000 words and then remember where you got this information from. So take the time to reference as you are going along. There will be a short video coming for how to in-text reference using the Harvard system, okay? Have you referenced 2 or 3 sources each time you've demonstrated a point so that you can show SACE that you've really researched this widely? Can the reader feel your passion? The A grade outcomes that I have seen for the research project over the years have always been by someone who's really passionate about their topic, they're really vested in it, they've really enjoyed what they're learning, and they want to share that learning with their target audience. Now, their target audience, whether it's real or imaginary, should be interested in this because because you've chosen someone who you're going to make sure they do have an interest in it. So, can they feel your passion? My strongest bit of advice is to use your time wisely. If you just use class time, you're not going to be able to achieve the outcome in the deadlines that we've actually got. You must dedicate some of your study time. You must dedicate some homework time. And I need you to know that when I set a draft deadline, I have actually set aside time to mark your work. I'm a really busy person, and I want to give you feedback. So if you don't meet those deadlines, then you've missed that opportunity to actually get that feedback for that section. Okay, so unless there's a really pressing issue, you're sick or something like that, in which case you would bring me a medical certificate, then I need you to be meeting all draft deadlines. It's not negotiable, and I don't want you finishing off that piece of work on the day the deadline is due and then quickly submitting it. I need you to take the time to proofread it before you submit it if you want the feedback that I'm giving you to be helpful and relevant to you. Okay? Stay calm. Use your time effectively. Plan when you are going to spend time on your research project. Meet deadlines. And last but not least, please keep working even when no one's watching. You are Year 12s. You are heading into adulthood, into the real world after you finish Year 12, and it is time for you to start learning to work independently. So I want you to be actively involved in your success here, okay? If you have any questions about anything that you're doing with your outcome, you don't have to wait till a draft submission date to be asking. You can send me messages if it's out of class time on Daymap. You can send me a message to email, or you can ask me in class. You can make an appointment time to catch up with me. I want you to be really vested in this and really accountable for the work that you produce. Remember, we've only got 5 weeks. And whilst that sounds like a lot of time, that will go so quickly. So please make sure you're using your time effectively, seeking help. Can't wait to help you achieve success. Go hard.